There's a new #1 in Matt Snyder's MLB Power Rankings this week. The champs are back on top, despite having their 7-game win streak snapped on Sunday against the Braves. Royals are the biggest risers this week, up 6 spots to 11. Rangers, the biggest fallers, down 11 slots to 20 in Matt's rankings. Hey there, folks. I'm Tommy Tran, joined by Matt Snyder, puts our power rankings together, and our insider, Jim Bowden, who's going to offer some thoughts, any team news and updates and all the like here. It is our weekly get-together to talk about said power rankings. Although Jim's not following on this one here, Matt. Dodgers on top, but you're right on .com that it's not clear-cut who's the best, especially in the top 5.
Well, you know, I do think the Dodgers are the best team, and I've been getting yelled at by Jim and David and everybody else for the past several weeks for not having them #1. It's not that fun when it's just the same team #1 every time. Look, they best record in baseball. We know how loaded the offense is, blah, 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 blah. It's a deep pitching staff. They do have so many injuries to the pitching staff, but the organizational depth is showing up because they're getting quality work from guys like Ben Kasparius, who will give them 3 good innings to start the game, stuff like that. Yamamoto right now is amazing, looking exactly like the elite ace they thought they were signing before last season. Deep offense, all that noise. But yeah, like Padres are really good. Cubs are right there. Tigers are right there. It's been a fun season so far, and by no means do I think they're blowing everybody away.
So then let's just get outside of the top 5 and talk about Seattle here, and then we'll get Jim's thoughts as well, because you're right about the Mariners, about sort of an inflection point, about a point in the season in which they've been really good. What did you mean by them waking up?
Yeah, they just got off to a slow start. They were 4-8, and I know that Mariners fans are they get down really easily, as can be expected. I mean, they've never won a World Series. They had that long playoff drought. They got off to a slow start this season, and you could just kind of feel a lot of Mariners fans screaming more of the same. Well, now they average over 5 runs a game, and T-Mobile suppresses offense. Their offense has just been great. Jorge Polanco's been unbelievable. Cal Raleigh is one of the best power hitters in the game. Not one of the best power hitters for a catcher. Legitimately one of the best power hitters in the game. We know the pitching staff's good. Andres Munoz might be the best closer in baseball right now. It's just a great top-to-bottom team at this point, and let's make sure to give, again, credit to that offense, because that's not an easy hitting environment, and they're continuing to churn out the runs.
Yeah, and they didn't turn over their roster. Like, they didn't add bats in the offseason. I talked to Jerry DiPoto, the president of the Mariners, over the weekend, and he pointed to last August when he put Edgar Martinez in as hitting coach. And that really has changed everything. And, you know, Jerry reminded me, he said, look, our offense picked up last August and September, so we're just carrying this over. And it's been Edgar Martinez's approach with the Mariners hitters. And as Matt mentioned, Cal Raleigh's got 12 homers. They gave him a 6-year, $105 million extension in the offseason. He has lived up to it. Last year, Jorge Polanco had the bad knee. This year, the knee is completely healthy. He's batting .380. with 9 homers and 26 RBIs. That has been huge. And Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena are adding the power. They each have 5 home runs. But what's really telling about this offense and the impact that Edgar Martinez has had is they lead baseball with 142 walks. That's been the key. They grind at bats. They take the count to 3-2. They draw the walk. And when you do that and hit home runs, you're going to score runs, right? They are 4th in Major League Baseball in home runs with 49. So they have the walks, they have the homers. Now, they're also not striking out as much as they did a year ago, Tommy and Matt. They're 18th in baseball in strikeouts. Last year, they were 30th. So they made some progress in contact as well. But it has been a different offense.
M's up a couple slots there in the power rankings. Let's stay in the division, though, where it's the Athletics who are second behind the M's, not the Astros and not the Rangers. We'll talk about Texas in just a second here, but winning 13 out of your last 19 will certainly help here. Do you worry about sustainability, Matt? What stands out to you about what the A's are doing right now?
I think they can maybe sit around 500, maybe push the contenders a little bit, and maybe be kind of annoying to the contenders when they play them down the stretch. But no, I don't think that they're going to be a playoff team or anything like that. But hey, it's a really fun offense to watch, especially in Sutter Health Park. Between Soderstrom, Rooker, Butler, Langoliers, they can hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's really fun. As you said, they've won 13 and 19. And then if you go to the rotation side, J.P. Sears has been outstanding, been one of the better pitchers in the league to this point. He looks like an all-star right now. And as I said, it's just a really fun team to watch at this point.
Yeah, I agree with Matt completely on his take, right? I think this is a team that can stay in the race, and I think they can be 500 or slightly above. And it's been a blast. I mean, who would have thought that Tyler Soderstrom would have 9 homers and 25 RBIs, or Nick Kurtz would be promoted to the big leagues and he got his first extra base hit, a triple over the weekend. That's been a huge story. And how about shortstop Jacob Wilson, who's hitting .333 and like never strikes out? They spent some money in the offseason, right? They brought in Luis Severino. He's put up a 3.3 ERA over 7 starts. Matt mentioned J.P. Sears. He's got an ERA under 3 with 7 starts. And then they've got the impact closer in Mason Miller. And even though he blew one over the weekend against the Marlins, he's got 25 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. So the Athletics are fun. And the fact that the Rangers and the Astros have come back to the pack has made the Athletics more relevant than we thought they were going to be.
So let's get to the Rangers. And, Jim, this is just for you because they're down 11 slots to 20 here, which is the biggest faller for Matt Snyder this week. I think you were really high on Texas. You weren't alone, though. And I know 35 games does not make a season, but what's going on right now in Arlington?
Well, they can't score runs, and it's so bad that they fired Donnie Ecker over the weekend, who is their leader in offense, and he runs the hitting for them, and he was the same leader they had when they won the World Series in 2023, and Chris Young dismissed them after Sunday's game because this team is not hitting. Now the question becomes, is it fixable? You know, Marcus Semien, the second baseman, is hitting .182 with 2 homers. Has age and decline caught up to him? You know, he didn't have a good year last year. We were thinking that he could bounce back. He hasn't. Adolis Garcia may have 4 homers, but he's hitting .217 and is chasing out of the strike zone even more than last year. They made a trade. They made a trade in the offseason to get Jake Berger to play first base because they wanted more power. Well, he hit .190 and Chris Young optioned him out. They brought in Jock Peterson to add more power. He's hitting .094. And oh, by the way, they thought Evan Carter would be the center fielder. He's had back issues and can't hit a breaking ball. He's sitting there in the minor leagues. Leody Taveras was just put on waivers. So, look, this has been a total nightmare for them. What do they have going for them? Corey Seager, who's been injured, but hitting .291 with 4 homers. Wyatt Langford, 6 homers, 13 RBIs. Josh Smith, who may take over center field now. He could be an answer as well. But they're hoping the new hitting guy can come in and maybe have the same impact that Edgar Martinez had with the Mariners last year. But the Rangers, look, they're in trouble. And is it because of age and decline? You don't know yet. But if you can't fire the hitters, then sometimes you got to take out the hitting coach, and that's what Chris Young did over the weekend.
And let's finish up with that bottom tier, Matt, where the Baltimore Orioles find themselves at 25. I don't think anybody thought that coming into the season here. What are some of the big warning signs for you? What stands out to you about why they're struggling so far?
Well, I mean, they could be hitting a little bit better, I guess, but it's all about the pitching. It's just an atrocious pitching staff right now in the rotation, and it's hard to see much improvement on the way. Once Eflin, who is on a rehab assignment right now, once he gets back, that will help. But Trevor Rogers, awful in the minors. Grayson Rodriguez, he's hurt. Who knows when he's coming back. Kramer and Povich have been bad. Sugano is... he's actually worse than his numbers say. So I think, if anything, there's going to be a backslide there, and Charlie Morton's cooked. It's just Michael Elias did not address the pitching enough to go with these young stud position players, and it's starting to show up right now. And, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get that much better. This looks like it's going to be a really down season for the Orioles to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. When you can't pitch, you can't win, right? And you got Grayson Rodriguez, Kyle Bradish, Zach Eflin, Trevor Rogers, Tyler Wells, all on the injured list. Dean Kramer has an ERA closer to 6.5. Cade Povich has an ERA of 5.1. Kyle Gibson, after 2 starts, has an ERA north of 14. Charlie Morton's been so bad with a 9.7 ERA. He's been put in the bullpen. He can't get anybody out. He looks like he's done. And then, you know, in the offseason, they went to get all these right-hand hitters to better balance against left-hand pitching. Tyler O'Neill hitting .215. Gary Sanchez hitting .100. But let's end it with something positive, guys. Jackson Holliday finally got rid of that big leg kick. He added a toe tap. He hit 2 homers yesterday. First time he's at a multi-homer game. That's positive. But look, the Orioles have not done a good job of developing their young players. They have not done a good job of trading from their prospect cabinet. They have not done a good job of maintaining this pitching staff. And because of it, we will not be covering Baltimore in October. And I'm disappointed about that.
I'll just end it on this. It wasn't all that long ago. They were ahead of schedule, then they were on schedule, and all of a sudden now, guys, they're behind schedule, according to the power rankings and our Jim Bowden. Jim, Matt, certainly appreciate it. And thanks for the updated rankings, which you can find the complete list on CBSSports.com. Notable MLB games tonight. Dodgers, well, they've got the Marlins and Sandy Alcantara. Fun game in the Bronx. Padres and Yankees, Pivetta and Rodon. And the Royals, Cole Reagan's giving them a start tonight at home against the White Sox.